Hi everyone, welcome back. First, I want to apologize by saying sorry for taking so long to update you guys and let you know everything that's going on. It's been a couple weeks, I believe. Last we spoke was the 6th of February. Today is February 18th. In that time, not much has happened, only the class that I had previously told you guys about. So just to talk about that some. The class was mostly directed towards the recipient. They did recommend that I go along as a potential donor, and they do talk about a lot. They talk about getting on the transplant list, that whole process, how long it takes. Um, you know, you meet with, the recipient meets with their transplant team, so the surgeon, the dietitian, a nurse, and a social worker. So first it was the class itself. There was a slideshow. The nurse that we met with actually did the whole walkthrough with that. She was super sweet and very helpful. She went over a lot of stuff. And then from there we met with a social worker. So she went over all the financial issues, insurance, how much they cover, if they cover the donor, um, you know, if asking if they drive, where do they live, will it be an issue getting out of work, all these things they ask. And they even asked me the questions, as well as my mom, because she's there, and obviously she'd be the one taking care of everything once it's done. So, basically taking care of he and I, or just him, afterwards. So they did ask a lot of those questions. It was very emotional. It gets very emotional. They ask, serious questions. How's the recipient feeling? Um, you know, my stepfather, so far in front of me, um, he's held it together pretty well. So this was the first time I actually saw him, feel, being really emotional about it. And it made things extra real. And, I got emotional. My mother was emotional. It's a big deal. It's not just, you're going to the doctor and that's it. It's, the kidney is failing and it's gotten to the point of needing a whole new one. And I know it's not easy. I will never say I understand what he's going through, because I don't. And all I can say is that I am there to support him and help him as much as I possibly can, and hope that I can help in the sense of giving him my kidney. And if I can't, then I will still be there supporting him and trying my best to help him feel better in any way I can. So after that, we met with the surgeon, and then he asked a lot of questions, like what brought about the kidney failure, what we think happened, any previous surgeries he might have had, any diseases, anything like that. And then me planning to be the donor, he asked me a couple questions. So basically, he asked if I had any, conditions going on for myself, and I do have psoriasis. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's more than just a skin condition. It is an autoimmune disease. So that was kind of a worry for me, thinking they might tell me I can't donate. But it really just depends on how bad the condition is. And I have a very mild form. When I tell you it's very mild, it is very mild. Thank God. So he didn't seem very concerned about that. I also have vitamin D deficiency. I told him about that just so he knew. But he didn't, that was like whatever to him. Obviously I'm taking higher vitamins for that. So he didn't seem worried at all. Other than that, I did have to share the fact that my grandmother has diabetes. So that's also a factor they have to take into account, because that is a hereditary thing. Right now I'm fine. I don't have any diabetes right now. Who's to say that won't pop up in the future, but as of right now, I am healthy in that sense. Other than that, after that, we went to see the dietitian. Didn't need to go over too much with her. My stepfather, he's basically on point nutrition-wise where he needs to be and everything like that. So that conversation took maybe like 3 minutes at most. It was a very, very short conversation. And then we met with the nurse that we had spoken to earlier, just to finish going over any last-minute paperwork we needed to fill out and any last-minute questions and all those things. She did ask, she did try to see if we can try to get like our blood tested to see what kind of blood we have. But I already knew the answer to that. My stepfather knew the answer to that. So I don't know. It wasn't actually clarified by the end of the day if we would have to actually go for another one of those tests just to verify. I found out because I donate blood once or twice a year, so I found out that, what kind of blood type I have. He found out through the whole process of the kidney, going to see the kidney doctor and all that. That's how he found out. So pretty verifiable sources, but I think they might want to double check on their end just to verify and have on their record what kind of blood types we have. So during that time, I also spoke with the Living Donor Institute nurse, I think she is. She'll actually end up being my coordinator in my transplant team, so it was really nice to meet her beforehand, before, having to go for another educational class specifically for the donor. She did have another concern, because I am 24. Really, I'd be a great candidate to donate a kidney, but it's also the fact I don't have any children, and they were worried in the sense that if I plan to have children later, there could be complications during pregnancy with having only one kidney. Not to say I couldn't get pregnant, but there might be some complications that they would like to avoid. So, that was a little concerning to me. But of course, they have to do their most and their best effort to make sure that the living donor is okay after. That is their main goal, is to make sure that we're good, we're safe, we're healthy, and there aren't any issues in the future. So it's appreciated. It's nice to know that it's not just treated like, well, this person needs a kidney, you have it, let's do it. It's more just making sure that everyone on each side is okay. So obviously I'm still going to go through all the tests that I need to go through and hope that doesn't cause the biggest issue. So we'll see about that. He does have to go through a few more tests. He's had some of them previously, so he's kind of, on the road there. He does have to do a few more tests before anything can really start on my end. And they also still have to go through, whether they're putting him on the list or not. But the doctor the surgeon did say, from what he can see and, what he's learned, he's most likely going to get on the list. But they still have to go through all of that. And then from there, then everything can kind of start getting rolling. It's basically just as soon as he does his tests, and then, they get those results and we can get going. So far, it's, like, emotional-wise, how I'm feeling, I'm very much ready. I spoke to a few more family members of mine, just to kind of let them know what I was planning to do. I hadn't known that they already knew, so that was kind of surprising, but I had their full support, and so far, everyone in my family that knows is completely supportive. My mother, she's obviously the most worried because I'm doing this, and as a mother, it's kind of scary to see your daughter, who is, perfectly fine, going through a surgery I wouldn't need, but that's not important. What's important is being able to help someone in need. And, you know, he's been my father for the past, few years, and I've known him for even longer. I've known him since I was little. And, you know, even if I didn't, I think I would still do this. It's the right thing to do. You know, I care about him, and I would like for his children to still grow up with their dad, and he be able to enjoy his life to the fullest extent. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. Like I said, I will definitely keep you guys posted. I did want to show you the papers that I had to fill out in the mail before we went to the educational class. Kind of wanted to show you what came in it from, like I said, I don't know if I said this before, we're going through the St. Barnabas Hospital here in New Jersey to go through it. And basically I wanted to just show you what they send. They send this paper with everything that's in it, the referral form, a brochure, and a optional and voluntary research questionnaire that I've already filled out and sent over to them. And then this is the brochure that comes in it. Let's see if you guys can see. And then it just goes over a few things inside. I did find that when I read his brochure, because he got a different brochure than I did, that one said like something about transplant. This one says transplant too, but his was different. I actually learned a little something more in his than mine, so, and if you can read their brochure, because they get a whole other pamphlet type thing, has obviously stuff that has to do with the recipient, and then I got the stuff having to do with the donor. But he didn't mind me reading his pamphlet because obviously the more information I know, the better. But I did actually learn that his actually had a couple more things in it that I wasn't aware of. It kind of spoke more about, how long you're in the hospital and how long the surgery takes, and I thought that was pretty cool to learn. But I just wanted to show you guys that really quick so you had an idea. But that's basically it. I hope this kind of helped in a little way, that you kind of know what to expect when you go into those educational things. Like, every place is different. I'm not going to say that some place in Ohio does the same thing that, New Jersey does, but that's what we're doing here at the St. Barnabas one. And they're extremely helpful, extremely nice and sweet, and so far a great team that I've met with him. I did also learn that when I start going for my testing and, going to my educational class, he actually can't join me. It's actually entirely different. He can't come with me to mine. More so for like the confidentiality kind of thing. Like I said, they really want the donor to feel like they're in a safe zone and that they're okay. So that's kind of where it's like, okay, you can't be part of this, I have to do it on my own. But of course I'll have my mother with me, so I won't be alone. But he can't be part of that, so I also wanted to make you guys aware that the recipient won't be part of your testing, won't be part of your class, and then all the results that you get back from those testings and stuff like that stay completely between you and your doctors. He isn't aware of anything, or they aren't aware of anything. And yeah, just a last minute comment. And I hope you guys have the best of luck with your process, and I hope everything really works out. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, again, please leave them in the comment section. And if you're finding these videos helpful, please subscribe. I will definitely update as often as possible. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and if you guys want to keep me updated on your progress, I welcome it. Any advice you have for me, even more welcomed. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!